So another video on Kale and legendary Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Berserker. This topic has been somewhat discussed about in the community since the arrival of Dragonball Super Episode 100. So yes, it is important to talk about. The main reason I am talking about it is because, for some odd reason, people have this assumption that because Kale does something, that Broly should automatically, or Broly, should automatically be able to do the same exact things Kale does. We don't even get me started on why that's a fallacy, for one, just connecting the two characters like that. But we're going to go into detail why Kale and Broly are not anything alike in terms of power, let alone lore or their forms. So how about we start off with my boy Broly and give some scaling and some backstory, and then we'll go over Kale, and then I'll explain who B2 and why, and I'll also explain why they are not the same character, and why Kale doing A action in Dragon Ball Super does not mean Broly could do A action in Super. Broly was born the same day as Goku, and was stabbed brutally and almost killed along with his father, Paragus. Broly was born with a power level... Literally, the second Broly came out of a vagina, had the same power level as Bardock when he took on Frieza or Dodoria, depending on how you scale some things. And, of course, Broly, as just a baby, also had access to his Super Saiyan abilities. And this is shown when dying, bleeding out baby Broly tanks a dwarf star level explosion from Frieza in first form when he destroys planet Vegeta and flies off into space, into a different solar system or galaxy to find a planet for him and his dad to live on. Now, this is just as a baby. Later on, as he grows older, and this is basically during the Cell Games era, Broly is then shown to be destroying the entire south quadrant of the universe. Now, this is as a restrained Super Saiyan, so that means not legendary, not full Super Saiyan, restrained Super Saiyan Broly that cannot even access his full abilities is slaughtering the entire south quadrant of the universe. And, of course, the North Kaioshin, or King Kai, then states that Broly will also come for the North quadrant of the universe at the rate he is destroying the south quadrant of the universe. And at the start of the movie, the narrator specifically shows and depicts Broly demolishing a galaxy. Now, many people get this misconception that because Broly was in a galaxy that still had stars in it, that he couldn't have destroyed the galaxy. Although the galaxy that the narrator was showing was simply one out of possibly billions of galaxies in the quadrant. Because, as we know in Dragon Ball Super, it's depicted with the Super Shenron that there are, in fact, billions upon billions of galaxies, just like our universe would be like. So, Broly just destroying one galaxy does not dictate that there can't be stars in the south quadrant anymore. That's a logical fallacy. And it should also be noted that there are other quadrants, and there's 3 other quadrants left in the universe that he can still destroy. So, of course, there would still be lights. And you also need to recognize that it takes about hundreds to possibly thousands of years for starlights to disappear from, other solar systems or galaxies. So, for example, if a different galaxy disappeared like the Andromeda galaxy, we wouldn't even notice for hundreds of thousands of years, really, because that's how long it takes for light to travel. So, of course, Broly, in the Broly movie, there being stars in the background, does not dictate that Broly didn't destroy the galaxy. Broly slaughtered a galaxy as a restrained Super Saiyan. And what else is interesting about this is that not only did King Kai state that Broly was going to slaughter half the universe as just restrained Super Saiyan, it should be noted that Saiyans have limited lifespans, so he would have to be at least multi-galaxy level to slaughter the universe within 100 or 200 years, however long you think Super Saiyans live for. And when he becomes a legendary Super Saiyan, it's flat out stated by Paragus, his dad, that Broly is just going to destroy the entire fucking universe. So, as you can tell, Broly is an insane powerhouse. Now, a lot of big problems people have with this is that he is from like a Cell Games timeline era. although this is easily debunked because it's a fallacy to connect the Cell games to movie 8 or movie 10, because in movie 8, it takes place in a different movie dimension, as stated by Toriyama himself, who states that all the movies take places in different dimensions, and they have their own powers. So scaling them to the main timeline, like Cell being a solar system buster, does not apply here. So not only does the narrator state Broly is destroying quadrants, King Kai says he's destroying quadrants, Goku says he already did destroy quadrants, and so on and so forth, and then being stated to be a threat to the universe. We also know that the box sets also confirm this. So, for example, on one of the box sets, it says, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. Broly, a Super Saiyan of unspeakable malice, is rampaging through space. Goku and Vegeta rush to confront the menace, but the race to save the universe turns into a test of survival. Save the universe. And then Broly's second coming. Broly is returned, driven insane by hatred, and this time, Goku might be powerless to stop him from destroying the galaxy. Only the sons of Broly's greatest rival can stop his murderous rage of good. So as you can see multiple times, Broly is stated to be like a galaxy buster or universe destroyer, and it's also shown at the beginning of the movie what his intentions are. It's going to be like a kind of like a Kid Buu kind of thing. So there we establish where Broly is. Now let's establish where Kale is. Now Kale is kind of confusing because we don't really know how much power Goku in the Tournament of Power used against her. He fought her as a Super Saiyan 2 after absorbing Super Saiyan God. But then after Kale beats the living fuck out of him, he's not scratched at all. Like, she literally beats the hell out of him for the whole episode, and he doesn't have a single scratch on him. He's not even sweating. And then it's shown he goes Super Saiyan Blue, yet he's still not sweating or shook after she gets bodied by Jiren. And neither is Hit, who is supposedly equal to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So by that logic, there's no way that Kale, as a legendary Berserker or Super Saiyan Berserker, is equal to Super Saiyan Blue. She'd in fact be weaker, and Goku was just testing her, as, you know, the writers of Dragonball Super would probably suggest. However, it should be noted that Goku thought it was more appropriate to test Kale as a Super Saiyan Blue than it was in a Super Saiyan 2, and regardless of whatever the fact, it should be noted that Goku, even as just Super Saiyan 2, is insanely powerful. We know in his fight with Beerus as a Super Saiyan God, him and Beerus could punch so hard it was going to annihilate the macrocosm into non-existence. This is literally stated by narrators and all the gods. It's not my opinion whatsoever. It's literally stated numerous times in the story. And then Goku absorbs this power into himself, turning it into his own abilities. And then as a Super Saiyan, it's stated that he has the same power as he did as Super Saiyan God, if not even more powerful as he progresses. So at least bare minimum, Super Saiyan Goku would be as strong as Super Saiyan God. And it should also be noted that at the end of the fight, he actually surpasses his Super Saiyan state in base form. But to lowball, we'll just say that Super Saiyan equals Super Saiyan God. So if Super Saiyan God is annihilating the universe just by punching, and Kale was able to match someone who's possibly over twice as powerful as a Super Saiyan God, then Kale, by this logic, if she's stronger than Super Saiyan 2 God Essence Goku or God Absorbed Goku, would completely obliterate Broly with absolutely no difficulty. I don't see why people scale them the same. Their forms aren't even called the same thing at all. I mean, if Broly was in Dragon Ball Super, say like Dragon Ball 4D God Broly versus, like, say, Super Saiyan Blue Goku has to fuse, like, literally breaks the fourth dimension and fuses with the viewer to have to fight him, that Broly would most likely obliterate Kale. No difficulty, because as we know, Broly has insane potential that he utilizes to its utmost maximum. Even in Dragon Ball Z, this dude was literally about to slaughter the universe as a Saiyan, which is absolutely insane. Something that's completely beyond the normal dimension. So it's very clear, like, if he was in Dragon Ball Super as God Broly, then he would stomp Kale because he is much more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and as we've established, Kale is not Super Saiyan Blue level. However, when it comes to legendary Super Saiyan versus Super Saiyan Berserker by far takes the cake. But I also thought it'd be interesting to touch up on what if base Broly fought base Kale. Now, this is much more different because what you need to know about Broly is that he's a sociopath. Okay, like, the meek demeanor he shows in his base form throughout the movie is not how he actually is. That's just because he has a fucking headset on that's controlling his emotions. Broly, in his actuality, is, like I said, a complete sociopath that wants to prove his dominance and destroy everything in the universe. My friend Super Saiyan Ryu actually brought this up, and he was like, I was telling him that I think Broly's a shit character. I don't really like him, and he's like, I disagree. I think Broly kind of represents like that ancient Super Saiyan legend that Vegeta was always nagging and bragging about. It was like the Super Saiyan that went out of his way to prove his dominance and could do anything he wanted in the universe. He was the apex predator, and that's what Broly really gave off. And it kind of changed my perspective. It's like that's what Broly is. He's the apex predator. He doesn't have any fear of his abilities. He's completely confident in what he does, and he's at least multi-galaxy level, even just a Super Saiyan. Whereas Kale in her base form has shown no such thing. And if we know anything about ki control, and I'll get into this in another video, is that Kale is a pussy. She's a complete dork, right? She can barely shoot a fucking ki blast without shaking and falling on her knees, right? And she got beat up by random fodders from other universes that weren't even Fat Boo level. So I don't see base Kale beating Broly, and obviously Super Saiyan Broly would completely obliterate base Kale. Oliver, Super Saiyan Berserker, in my opinion, is Kale's potential unleashed without like all that meekness and that nervousness. And we honestly, we have no idea what the multiplier for that form even is. So in my opinion, Kale stomps Broly as a Berserker. However, Broly stomps in any other scenario. And God Broly from the new 4D movie that's coming out will obviously be stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku, 99% likely. And that God Broly would shit stomp Berserker Kale. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got what I was trying to get across in this video. Kale and Broly do not equal each other. They're not from the same dimension. They don't have the same form. They don't even have the same fucking character. I mean, I get it. Kale is Broly fan service. I completely get that. I know where you guys are coming from. But they are not the same character, and they do not have the same powers. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Until next time.